In today's video, it's a tough video to make without sounding like I'm bragging. So I'm going to add some context to the whole situation to kind of balance everything out. Because my life has not necessarily been exceptional because of the kind of superhuman abilities that I was born with, okay? So let's just go into this situation. I have been tested twice in my life, administered IQ tests, okay? Once when I was like 14 or 15, again when I was 27 or 28, okay? They were one was 121 and one was 119, okay? When I was a kid, I remember that my mother, her husband, and the doctor, psychologist, whatever, they were just looking at me. I didn't even really comprehend what the hell this number meant, right? All I knew is that school was really hard, like insanely hard, okay? And I spent my entire life until like 2 years ago. I'm 54. It's maybe 3 years ago now. Knowing there was something wrong, which wrong isn't maybe the best word for it. Different is most definitely the word for it. But having no idea what this situation was. Literally no clue. And this is why I was in like psychologist. So there was an incident when I was 7 when my mom's dad shot my dad in a fight. And so this incident was like I think the problem that made the dyslexia not identifiable, okay? So, because, he saw this shooting, maybe that did something to his brain, which, yeah, it probably gave me PTSD or something like that when I was young, which, is not good, but it's not the answer to why school was so hard, right? And this was dyslexia. Okay, so I made a whole video about how YouTube actually diagnosed so I'm not going to go into that. But now in the years since, I've had time to look into dyslexia. And one of the most fascinating things is my brain. When you take my IQ and the fact that I'm dyslexic, I have a brain that is in less than 1% of humans. So my brain is one of the most rarest brains on earth. My brain is rarer than genius brains. There's more genius brains than there is high IQ dyslexic brains, okay? And like I said before, dyslexia is not all bad. There is all kinds of just random benefits that if you don't know, you just don't know. So my entire life, adult life, 16 or so, I've been designing complicated machinery in my head just as a hobby, okay? So when I was 16, I was designing a convertible bus, right down to how the convertible parts would actually work. And this was just something I was doing in my, like when I was riding a bus to somewhere, walking somewhere. This is what's going on in my head, right? Thinking about these types of things, right? So now you equate that with the fact that I'm 6'4". I literally stand all day long. Like I don't sit at all. I feel like super uncomfortable sitting. Like I've been standing for years. I stand and I sleep. Okay, I've got huge hands. My shoes are a size 47 in Europe and a 14 in the United States, right? So I'm like this 6'4" giant guy that has all this extra energy, and my brain works like less than 1% of the people's brains work on Earth, okay? I mean, it's a very unique situation. Dare I say superhuman, right? But wait, there's more. So then, because of technology, I know I have some kind of ability or senses or something. I'm not really sure how to explain it. It's really unexplainable currently. I have guesses, whatever, it's just guesses. But since I was 16, I had a pager. So I would be in conversations with people, and I would just out of nowhere start talking about somebody that was not there, right? Just like whoever. And then moments later, I would get a page from that person. And this has happened dozens, maybe hundreds of times in my life. It doesn't stop happening, okay? It's a very odd, I mean, it just keeps happening. Like, I get my calls and I get my texts before my devices do. And this has been happening since I was 16 because I had a pager then, right? There was a group of people that were trying to run me off the road, right? I had a whole crew of people in my van driving to a shoot, okay? And a car attempted to run us off the road. Okay, moments before that happened, a voice in my head said, make sure everyone has their seatbelts on, okay? Just as clear as that. I literally, immediately, it was so much that I slowed down. And this is like a winding gravel road, right? I slowed down, went over the side of the road so I could turn around and look to see if people had their seatbelts on. And the model that was sitting right directly behind me in the middle of the freaking console area did not have her seatbelt on. Okay? Right at that moment, a car that I could not see coming around a blind corner came directly at us. And if I hadn't already been slowed down and over to the side of the road, there would have been an accident, okay? And this was intentional. Somebody was trying to run me and my crew off the road. And I know who those people are, and it's the FBI, okay? So, that's a whole nother story. Watch my playlist, documenting police harassment, if you like those kind of stories, okay? So, not only do I have this exceptionally high, only 10% of the people on Earth have an IQ as high as mine. Add to that my dyslexia, which puts me into a less than 1%, and then this undescribable ability to sense things, okay? I am literally one of the most unique people on the face of the planet. And it's kind of bizarre to wrap my head around, to be honest, because my life has been just absolutely difficult, okay? And had, honestly, my parents not been goofballs, I should have been curing cancer or making rockets or something extraordinary. But unfortunately, the diagnosis of the dyslexia never came until I was in my 50s, okay? Now, what that would have changed in my life would have been probably drastic, because there's been this like, what's wrong with me kind of thing, the whole, myself included. Like, I remember when I was like in junior high school walking down the street going, why can't I get left and right now? Why is left and right so complicated for me, right? Just walking down the street wondering what the hell is wrong with me that I didn't do that, right? And literally, no one ever figured it out. No one ever figured it out until YouTube, right? So my life has been, it's been fascinating, don't get me wrong. But it's, you know, I've accomplished some things in my life that I'm pretty proud of. Marijuana didn't legalize itself. People like me, pushing hard, got it to the point where we could bring reality into the subject, okay? It wasn't only me, it was a lot of people, but I was a part of it, okay? I feel very accomplished for that. And in the 2008 crash, like, I put together a business that helped a lot of people. A lot of people were broke, didn't have income, no way to get income, and I was providing income to a lot of people that would have been totally screwed without that, right? So I'm pretty proud of that. And I worked really hard on my grasslands restoration project, and had the United States not suffered a coup, it would have sequestered so much carbon, and maybe someday, but you know. So now I've been using my giant unique brain to make the world a better place, okay? And I've prioritized some things in my life that I think will make the world a better place the fastest. I mean, I'm just kind of doing what I can do. And what I can do is pretty damn unique, right? So I hope I wasn't bragging too much. I hope I balanced the bragging out with the depressing reality of what my life has actually been like. Like, it, you know, just not a life of somebody that has a less than 1% brain on Earth. Like, my life trajectory should have been completely different. And I don't feel like I've done any evil with my superpowers, not even close. I think I've helped the world drastically. I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect. So anyway, I hope you have a nice day, and you should subscribe because, like, I'm literally a superhuman. Peace.